In this video we are going to see how to use Form MultiRow Control. It is very similar to the Form Repeat Control which was covered in the previous videos. It is used when you have a use case in which you need to accept multiple entries from the user for a section of the form. The only difference being when you use Form Repeat there is a single entry that is created in the sheet, whereas when we use a Form MultiRow Control, separate entries are created in the sheet for each entry in the form. The link in the description will navigate you to the Form Repeat video in case you haven't watched it already. We will use the same use case as we had used in the previous video, that is expense management form. So first we will take a text box and change the label to name. Now we will add a Form MultiRow Control. It has a structure exactly similar to that of Form Repeat Control. Now let us add controls to this. We will add a text control for expenses details and next a numeric control for amount. We are ready with our form. Now let's go and see how our sheet will look like. So I have already created this sheet. We need to add the required columns to this. First we will add a column for name and type text. Next we will add a column for expense details and type text. And finally a column for expense amount and type number. Now if you will notice, in the Form Repeat video we created a single column for expense and stored the entries in a JSON object. But here we have created separate columns for each of the expense components. The reason for this will be cleared later in the video. Now let us back to the form. And we will add a submit button. Next we need to add a workflow to this screen. Give it a name and save it. Now open this workflow. We need to select the Update Sheet task and continue. Now we need to give a name to this task. Next we will select the sheet we just created from this drop-down. Select the Insert Record option. Now we can see the 3 columns that we created over here. Now we will set our form controls to these columns. If you notice we have a linkage here where the Form MultiRow Control and the other control is connected by a dot. I can also use this option here to select the keywords. I will go to Task and then Initiated and I can select the required keyword. Now we are done. We can close this. Next we have to link the Submit button to the workflow. Here in the Properties I will go to the Select Workflow option and select the workflow we just created. Now we need to go back to the workflow and edit it. Here we need to check the Submit Record Separately option and add the workflow description. And then save the workflow. The second way to do this is go to the workflow and at the bottom here select the Iterate task and select this option from the drop-down. We will focus on the first method for this video. Now let's preview our form. Let me add data to this form. I will click on this button, and now add more data here. And finally submit it. Next let's go and check the sheet. Here we can see that separate entries are created for both the expense detail entries. Whereas in Form Repeat we had just one single entry. That's it for this video. I hope you are enjoying creating apps in the Builder. For more videos visit our YouTube page.